Was 2022 a great year for horror games? Yes, it was. IMO, which means in my opinion, which means you can disagree with me and I don't care. Yeah. Basically, we're gonna start with the top 5 list, but we're gonna stop at 2. And then we're gonna go through some honorable mentions. And then we're gonna go through some dishonorable mentions. Actually, there's just one dishonorable mention. You'll find out. But then after that, it's on to number 1, baby. And I can hear what you're thinking. What qualifies this dude to tell me what the best horror games of 2022 were? Well, I asked my Discord community server, and they said, yeah. They said, yeah. Don't know what I'm supposed to do with that, but yeah. But for serious, Steam says that I played around 212 games this year on my Steam recap. And that doesn't even include the games that I played on other platforms like itch.io or Epic. And no, I don't play games anymore for fun, so I know that all those games that I played this year were definitely happening on my Twitch channel, which is Sharky, by the way. We're currently on the search for the scariest game ever there. It's designed to be a never-ending search. But if you'd love to join us, we'd love to have you. Come say hi. 212 games. That's a lot of streams. That's a lot of knowing horror and what's good and what I like. I got a burp. And sure, there's probably people out there that are like,
this year sucked for horror. There was no good horror games that come out. Horror genre is dying. Yeah. Everything is PT clone.
Fair enough on the PT clone stuff, but did they look around hard enough for games that weren't just AAA? There are so many great gems out there within the indie scene. I certainly didn't play 212 AAA horror games this year. Actually, were there even any besides Callisto Protocol? Hello? Taxman? Hey, yeah, look, you need to make a tax write-off on a game that cost me 90 Australian dollars. At number 5, we have Deathwatch. Produced by Game Juice Studios, it sits with a positive rating on IMDb? No, on Steam, with only 29 reviews. I told you we're going for the gems on this one. I know Observation Duty 5 came out this year as well, but I feel like this title really took that kind of Observation Duty aesthetic and style and just really took it to the next level. It added so much more that you were able to do. Not only do you need to keep your eyes on the multiple security cameras to like spot changes or anything like that, or creepy things, but you also need to look around the room that you're in to make sure that nothing is in there with you. Talk about adding pressure to the situation. Good God. If you really want to take things to the next level, you can try the VR mode. Did I punch my monitor many times? Yes. Was it worth it? Yes. It's really cool. This game also features a Twitch chat integration. If you're a streamer and you want to get your chat involved, it's perfect. They can help, they can hinder, they can trigger an event that happens somewhere in your room or in the game. I had one time where they made my mouse sensitivity go to like 1, and I could not move my mouse around on the screen. It's also under $10. Honestly, a steal. Number 4, signalis. This game really is like the classic survival horror experience. Like you've got item management, saving ammo, not shooting everything that you can, literally using your map 95% of the time because I am lost. Where was that key? Is that door locked? Have I been in there? I don't know. Thank you, maps. And like it feels really authentic in some ways. For example, there's a lot of puzzles that require memory for certain things. There is an item that you can get that is an eye that takes photos, but you have to have it in your inventory, and you can use it to take photos of clues to then go back to the puzzle and essentially look at the photo from your eye. Now, I think that's a really cool thing to do. However, I just took photos of the screen with my phone because 6 slots, and one of those is an eye. When I have a smartphone next to me, I just can't be bothered. But I respect the fact that it's there, and I think that is cool. Something that really stands out about this game is just its visual style. It's very pixel art style, but then the cutscenes, while also pixel, they sort of resemble anime in a way. I'm not a big anime guy, so don't come at me, but it was great. There's even moments in the game where you switch from like, sort of top down to first person mode for certain things, and it works perfectly. It also features multiple endings that really depend on your playstyle, which is interesting. The emotion that came over me when I finished the game made it worth playing through this. And it's quite a long game. And I can't wait to see all the like theories and stories explained that I know are probably gonna pop up on YouTube over the next year. When I finished the game, there was like none. and I was distraught because I'm like, I want to know more. What's going on here? Tell me. I will just say, don't get fooled by the fake ending. Maybe that's a spoiler, but I just don't want you guys to miss out. Definitely check it out. It's a great game. All right, next. At number 3, we have Endoparasitic. Is that how you say it? Endoparasitic? It looks like it. I don't know. I struggle with words sometimes. How can I best describe this one? I'm just gonna read off my script here because I feel like there's a lot of words and I just wanna make sure that I say them right. You start off getting 3 limbs ripped off with 1 arm left. You also get infected with a deadly parasite, drag yourself with your 1 arm through the corridors of a secret research lab and fight off horribly mutated monsters, inject yourself countless times with vaccines, and that's just to survive, but whoo, it's a good game. And yeah, you heard right, you only have 1 arm. This means you need to do things like use your arm to pull yourself around the environment, use your arm to get your weapon, use your arm to shoot and aim, use your arm to load the gun again with bullets, use your arm to collect ammo. You're literally just using a mouse the entire time, like, and you'll be panicking a lot. And I just love this game. This game is hard, but it was so much fun. There are so many oh shit moments as you continue to encounter like new enemies, and you have to learn what those enemies do. Dealing with that while trying to manage everything with 1 arm is just next level panic horror. It will keep you on your toes. Keep you on your fingies? Sorry, little gray pixel man. My bad. Number 2, and I feel like a lot of people will love this, Faith, the Unholy Trinity. Holy shit, what a game. This game has such a cult following already as well. But you know what? It's justified. Although at the start, you're probably going to be thinking, what the hell is this Atari-looking piece of shit looking 8-bit thing? How is this going to be an actual scary game? You will be surprised. You're probably going to end up dreaming about some of the creatures or moments that you experienced, like this dude right here. I don't want to tell you what is going on in this situation, but damn. So what's it about? 2 priests arrive at the Martin family home in rural Connecticut to investigate an apparent case of demonic possession. Demonic possession. It's serious. Do not make fun of demonic possession. That shit is real. I don't know why I got angry. I'm the one that said the word weird. Now, that's just the description for the first chapter. I don't really want to go too much into detail on the other chapters because you just got to experience it. It's a great story. I still keep thinking about this one area that is like an apartment complex. It just feeds like liminal space kind of energy, even though it's just an 8-bit game. But the moment that the lights go out and you have to use a camera flash to sort of find your way around, but then things are kind of showing up sometimes and then they're not, like, whew. Also, epic Saw reference with the camera flash kind of thing. I don't really know what else I can say about this game. If you're a fan of it, you know what I mean. You know why it's great. If you don't, you will if you play it. I just really feel like it needs to be experienced. That's my excuse, okay? I will just warn you, it does have some very tough moments, so get used to hearing and seeing this a lot. Oh, I'm scarred, but it's so damn good. Let's speedrun some honorable mentions. These games could honestly fit somewhere in my top 10. First up, we have The Upturn. I wouldn't say it is completely like a horror game. It'll have you laughing in moments. I think the structure of the game is actually incredible. It's interesting. It keeps you on your toes. There's always new things happening. Mirror Forge. I can't think of another game this year that just did such a great job of making the environment you're in feel so alive. The sound design was incredible. I really felt immersed in that world. Also, the jump scares don't feel cheap here. I do love jump scares, but when jump scares are done right, they are absolutely worth it. Choo Choo Charles, wow, what a breath of fresh air for the horror genre. Is it short? Yes. You can beat it in maybe 2 hours, maybe even quicker. The use of an open world, and to get around that world, you need to use a train that you can upgrade, which is cool, but you're using it to hunt down an evil f***ing spider train. It's just such a cool idea. It's such a cool idea. Look at this train. Look at it. Are you looking? Look. Also, you should totally check out my Choo Choo Charles video that I did. Last one, Who Knocks? This made the honorable mentions because I only played it like a couple days ago. It came out super late in the year, but if you're Italian, you may have heard of Daniel Doesn't Matter. He's an Italian comedian on YouTube, but he also makes horror games. And no, I'm not just adding this game here because I'm in it. You know, I am in it. That's so cool.
Sid find it. Hey, yeah! I know this man. This is Sharky. Yo, let's go, brother.
Dishonorable mention time. The Callisto Protocol. I feel like I really need to talk a little bit more about this one because I don't just want to be throwing shade and then, you know, not backing that up. I often don't really criticize that much indie games, specifically indie horror games, because generally it's one person working on it or a small team. There's no budget. They're just doing it as like a passion thing. And who the hell am I really to kind of just like shit on someone else's work? So I respect a lot of indie stuff, but holy shit, this game is AAA. So let's fucking go. I think this was probably like one of the most anticipated horror games of 2022. And it was like riding off the hype of like the Dead Space legacy, right? Was there a Dead Space 3? No, there wasn't. I didn't think so. Yeah, cool. Although the game was like really fun at the start, unfortunately it just kind of became stale because nothing really changed. Go in, kill everything, go next room, repeat. Oh, stealth section. It eventually just became more, I want to finish this game. I just want to be done with it rather than enjoying it and the moments that it had. I remember being like, oh, I wish that there were like some mini bosses here. And then we got a mini boss and it was sick. And I was like, wow, I had to figure out how to kill it, what to do. That was beautiful. I love that. But then they took that same boss and literally copy pasted it 3 or 4 more times throughout the game. That first boss no longer felt special. The challenges weren't fun after that. It wasn't scary. It was gory, that's fine, that's great, but it just lost all horror aspects in my opinion. It's a very pretty game, for sure. I know the devs worked hard on it, but for $90 Australian?
Come on, man, what is this? Huh?
Yeah, that kind of sucks. Oh, also, the PC performance issues, yikes. Here we are, number 1. I think everyone already knows what this is gonna be. It's probably in the freaking thumbnail. The Mortuary Assistant. This game changed me. When the demo for this game dropped a year before it came out, it was one of the most terrifying experiences that I had ever had in a horror game. And then I waited a whole year. If you're a gamer, you know, if you're hyped for something, it's probably gonna turn out pretty bad. But when it came out, I was not disappointed. This game is terrifying, like terrifying. You have 3 bodies that you have to embalm, but while you're doing it, you have to try and figure out which one of the bodies has the demon in it. And all the while, this demon is literally messing with you, terrifying you as you try and figure this out. Once you figure it out, you burn the body and you get an ending. There are 5 endings to the game. But the great thing is they labeled all the playthroughs as shifts. So every time you start a new shift, it's like the same kind of setup and everything, but you can take the knowledge you learned from the previous shift, or like maybe you learned to code or something. So now you can do this other bit in the shift earlier before you get possessed. There are certain events that happen only on certain playthroughs as you go through, and you use those events to piece things and lore from the story. And oh my God, the things you find out, the scares in this game were just unnerving. Like, I've never played anything before where I had felt so uncomfortable, so paranoid that something was over my shoulder or waiting for me around the corner, or I didn't know what was gonna happen. And I've never felt like that before in a game. And it's all because I think that there's like an AI system and it sort of reads your movements, what you're doing, maybe knows where you're gonna look at a certain time and knows when to trigger things. So no playthrough is ever the same. There was a moment where I had been playing for 10 hours. I don't know which shift I was on, but then things were happening that I had not seen yet. It's also got a cinematic kind of approach. It really feels like you're playing in a film that is actually scary. The Mimic, which in my opinion is probably the scariest thing in the whole game. It does nothing. It just stares at you from behind a shelf or a corner, or it does a weird flexible move on the move, just spying on you, just waiting for you to look at it so it can freak out and disappear. And it's spine chilling. Just knowing that this thing could be anywhere at any time looking at you, or not even knowing and then seeing it. It's probably one of my favorite games of all time. So that's my list. If I find out in the audience retention that you've gone through and just skipped to the parts to see what the list is and not actually watch it all the way through, thank you. Thank you for caring about what the list was, at least. Thank you so much. And I'll see you in the next video that I do, which I'm not sure what that will be, but maybe subscribe and you'll see it. You'll be like, oh, that's a cool video. I'm so glad that I subscribed. Or maybe you won't subscribe, and that's also okay. You do what's best for you. Bye.